Southeast Georgia and the Lowcountry. This is WJCL 22 Morning News. See us now.
Not only had an incredible COVID surge, but also a COVID surge of those that are critically ill.
Right now on WJCL 22 Morning News, a COVID winter case surge and a growing list of states reporting the new variant Omicron. The new rules and recommendations this morning. A catastrophic flooding threat. We're surveying the damage after some spots saw more than a foot of rain in just 48 hours.
We're disappointed that no one has paid for the tragic, brutal murder of a 14-year-old boy for whistling at a white woman.
One of the darkest racially charged cases in American history closed once again by the FBI, while the agency says it's not pursuing charges.
A high-stakes call today for President Biden. I'm Aixa Diaz in Washington with the world leader meeting with the president today.
Now 6 o'clock on your Tuesday morning, and we are live in downtown Savannah in Johnson Square looking at City Hall. We want to thank you so much for waking up with us right here in WJCL 22. I'm Emma Hamilton, here with our meteorologist Jonathan Myers. And Jonathan, we can't tell from that photo, but it's really not too chilly out this morning.
Yeah, not at all, but you'll notice this afternoon cooler air, and we won't see any more 70s for today, and with that north breeze and rain in the forecast. It's been about a month.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, since we've seen a whole lot of rain, we're going to pick it up for tomorrow. Now, detail that for you in just a second. Out the door for school this morning, maybe a sprinkle or two as we start things off, and temperatures before sunrise this morning, most of us will be into the upper 50s, low 60s, lunchtime temperature 64, mid 60s to upper 60s where we'll top off for highs. Even after school could see a spotty shower, but like I said, really not a whole lot of rain in the forecast today. You can see those sprinkles that are moving through parts of the low country this morning from Beaufort to Bluffton to Hilton Head, even in parts of Jasper County around Ridgeland and Hardyville. May see a brief little sprinkle, but we won't see a whole lot of rain today. But by tomorrow, though, a really good chance of rain. Umbrella definitely will be needed tomorrow. We will see widespread rain probably by mid part of the morning on Wednesday into the afternoon along the coast. I'll detail that for you in Futurecast. And even, how about some warm weather, feeling like springtime once again by the end of the week. All those details in less than 10 minutes.
All right, Jonathan, thank you. Heading outside for a live look at traffic. We're at Highway 280 in downtown Pembroke, where it looks like traffic is moving right along this morning. All new this morning, a growing list of states now reporting cases of the new COVID-19 variant Omicron. We've made a map to show you the 19 states, now including Texas and Mississippi. You can see Georgia is on the list. As of right now, South Carolina has not reported a single case. As ABC's M. Wynn reports, the nationwide surge is prompting new vaccine mandates and revised recommendations by the CDC.
COVID-19 cases surging in the U.S., up 27% in the last week. The new Omicron variant popping up in a growing number of states.
We've not only had an incredible COVID surge, but also a COVID surge of those that are critically ill.
At least 19 states have confirmed cases of the Omicron variant. The latest cases in Texas and Hawaii, where the patients reported no travel. Others, like in Minnesota and Mississippi, reported recent travel to New York, where Mayor Bill de Blasio just announced a vaccine mandate that's being called the first in the nation of its kind.
Vaccination is the central weapon in this war against COVID.
Effective December 27th, all private sector's employees will have to have one dose of the vaccine. Children 5 to 11 will also need proof of one dose to enter restaurants, gyms, and entertainment venues, and anyone 12 and older will need to show 2 vaccine doses.
I think it's protective of our family and also protective of other people.
There's no need for any of this.
Pediatric virus infections are also climbing. Last week, another 133,000 children tested positive. More than 7 million children have contracted COVID since the start of the pandemic. As winter nears, the CDC now urging people to use rapid tests before heading to an indoor gathering, regardless of vaccination status. Starting this weekend in France, nightclubs must close for 4 weeks in response to the rise in COVID cases. M. Wynn, ABC News, Washington.
Flooding threat in Hawaii. Officials say more than a foot of rain has fallen in just 2 days. Hawaii's governor declared a state of emergency yesterday as officials expect heavy rain to continue until later this afternoon. Take a look at the damage that people are already seeing because of this flooding. As we just saw, cars are being left stranded in the streets, and some residents had to evacuate and find higher ground after water started pouring into their homes. A high-stakes meeting today for President Joe Biden. Later this morning, the president is holding a secure video call with Russian President Vladimir Putin. Ari Diaz is in Washington this morning to break down the significance of this call.
The White House says a big part of the call will be Russia's military presence along the border with Ukraine, which experts say is a sign of a possible invasion. The U.S. is threatening consequences if that happens.
The right path forward here is through diplomacy.
The White House says President Biden will lead with diplomacy today when he speaks with Russian President Vladimir Putin. But the U.S. is ready to impose significant and severe financial sanctions on Russia if the country invades its democratic neighbor, Ukraine.
You can call that a threat. You can call that a fact. You can call that preparation.
U.S. officials haven't said if military action is on the table if Russia doesn't back down. Experts say the stakes couldn't be higher for both countries.
What's on the table and what's at stake is war and peace in Europe. NATO, Ukraine, United States, we have to prepare for the worst. We have to assume that an invasion could come, some are saying as early as January.
Russia is hoping to prevent Ukraine from joining NATO, but Putin says talk of an invasion is a Western smear campaign. In Washington, I'm Aixa Diaz.
The White House says President Biden will also discuss Iran and cyber issues with President Putin. New this morning, shocking revelations in the Jussie Smollett trial. The former Empire actor took the stand yesterday. Smollett is accused of hiring two men to carry out an anti-gay and racist attack back in 2019. He has repeatedly denied this claim. His testimony focused on his relationship with the brothers who testified that Smollett paid them to stage the assault. Smollett said he had a sexual relationship with one of the men and would help him get drugs.
We're disappointed that no one has paid for the tragic, brutal murder of a 14-year-old boy for whistling at a white woman.
All new this morning, disappointment from the family of Emmett Till and their supporters. More than 60 years after the brutal murder of Emmett Till, the Justice Department announced it's once again closed the investigation. Back in 1955, the 14-year-old black boy was taken from his family's home in Mississippi, tortured and killed after a woman claimed he whistled at her. The FBI reopened the case after a historian claimed in his book the woman who made the claim, Carolyn Donham, had taken back some of her allegations. Donham later told the FBI she never said that. Carolyn's husband and another man were tried and found not guilty for the crime, but later confessed to the murder during a paid interview. The DOJ concluded they don't have enough evidence to support federal prosecution.
I did not expect that they would have found any new evidence, but we must look to the future. And I asked myself and I ask you, where do we go from here? We cannot stop.
He did not die in vain. We still hear Emmett speaking from the grave. Many things have been changed and many things have come about because of his death.
The late iconic Georgia Congressman John Lewis introduced the Emmett Till Unsolved Civil Rights Act, which allowed cold cases of suspected violent crimes committed against African Americans before 1970 to be reopened. Right now, Savannah police are trying to figure out who shot and killed a man on Sunday. Savannah police now say Dustin Walters was killed. They say he was shot inside a home on East 64th Street. If you have any information, please call Savannah police. Right now, the desperate search for this man, missing since last week. Lucas Gooden's family says he recently moved to Tybee Island and was staying at a motel. Police say his cell phone was found at the intersection of Miller Avenue and 14th Street. If you have any information, call Tybee Police. All new this morning, a second grader is accused of bringing a loaded gun to school. Police in St. Louis say the student brought it in to show it off. They say thankfully no one was hurt and that they were able to safely get the weapon away from the student.